All good things must come to an end. A 2021 premiership and 2 further top 4 finishes in the most successful modern era at the Melbourne Football Club. But it all seems to have come undone. In just 18 to 24 months, almost everything has gone wrong. Star players with off-field trouble, injuries or aging stars, a troubled culture which has led to a president and CEO out the door, and even the way the game is played has shifted away from the Demon setup, which originally brought them glory. Although it seems all bad right in this moment, there are still some bright spots, but no doubt in the near future, a whole range of significant decisions will be made to try and get Melbourne up to date and back in the mix. The current state of the football program is not too dissimilar to the mess of the early 2010s. No official CEO, and Brad Green, who decided to pick up the off-field mess and fill in as interim president as Steve Smith becomes ready to take over the role in 2026. Any organisation or sporting club with that sort of off-field setup just can't succeed. The hunt for a CEO has been going on for months, and after initially trying to poach people from other AFL clubs, Melbourne now is in a rush to fill one of the most important positions in the football program. This all stems from Kate Roffey and Gary Pert moving on, who dealt with the events across 2024 horrifically. All they did was make it clear the culture at the club was fantastic and all was fine, despite numerous issues going on at the exact same time. Even Brad Green has had a shaky start to his interim role, starting off with shopping around Clayton Oliver in the off-season, which then led to Oliver shopping himself around, most notably meeting with Geelong players, before officially declaring he alongside Christian Petrarca would have to stay at the club. Before we get to anything to do with football, it's clear Melbourne has to get their off-field and business structure set so they can lay a solid foundation to build into the future. Now the problems on field sit into 2 different categories: the decline and form of their current players, and the other, the direction of the competition in terms of play style. So let's start with the current list and their form. It shouldn't be a huge surprise there has been a drop-off. So far the D's have lost clearance and contested possession in every game. It was their one wood, and their relentless nature at their peak won them big games. Max Gawn is still leading well, but at 33 turning 34, he has slipped down the ruck pecking order. That's not a blight on him, because no one can stay at the top forever, and it's not like he hasn't been good. He does look a touch tired, and hasn't been his dominant self yet. Clayton Oliver is averaging his 30 disposals per game, but it's just not the same. Not a lot of his possessions are causing big damage, and his leg speed isn't at his best. Compare his game against Rao, and the difference is there. Both got a lot of the ball, but one used it better, played with power, and was more aggressive. Petrarca has been good coming back from injury, and has played solid time up forward, and Jack Viney, who turns 31 very soon, has dropped away. Again, it is still early in the season, but this midfield group looks like a shadow of itself. 2021, 2022 and 2023 was some time ago now. Throw in Jake Lever and Stephen May's injury past of late, and the trouble's up forward, especially in the key forward posts, and the cattle isn't great at Melbourne. The club this off-season has spoken about love and connection as key building points to reignite the club. The team went to a camp in Brighton and had heart-to-heart meetings, but on field, none of this is showing. Perhaps it's like the word culture. If you say you have a good culture over and over, you almost try to make yourself believe it, and the same can be said for love. Goodwin, Gawn and others have spoken in the media about the love they have, but is it real, or is it a word that is being repeated to rekindle relationships and belief in the club? Results speak for themselves, and the players on the field are just not connecting, and with the events over the past couple years, that really isn't a shock. The other element is a bit out of Melbourne's control. The AFL, especially the best teams, all win by ball movement. whether it's kick mark with speed like Brisbane, or the handball chains we have seen with Collingwood in 2023, it's become the key part of offense. Melbourne, who had the mantra contest and defense, have been left back. With their style, they won a premiership and made top 4 3 times in a row, but the past 2 seasons have shown teams have overcome them. Again, this does in part relate back to the overall form of players. Melbourne tried to evolve last season before a 92-point loss to Fremantle, but from that round onwards, they did revert back to their focus on contest and defense. Goodwin has admitted through the off-season they are changing things up, and they will be growing pains with that. Throwing injuries to Caleb Windsor and Jed McVee in defence, who have real speed and class, means Trent Rivers, who was looking to play on ball, has had to be moved back, and it has stalled development of their transition game early on. The forward half is the other issue and has been for years. Key forwards of quality don't grow on trees, and pair this with Bailey Fritsch's drop-off and speculation around Keziah Pickett, and the D's don't have a threatening inside 50 group. Jacob Van Rooyen just hasn't come on yet, but the soon-to-be 22-year-old is still a baby in key position terms. You can't really do much about the forward group for now, but when those defenders come back in Windsor and McVee, the D's should have a bit more zip across the ground. But for all the negatives, there are signs of growth. At least Goodwin and his staff have identified that change is needed. It's the first step, and sure, it might result in a poor season, but there is no point playing it safe. Adapting quickly and getting players up to pace is really the only way forward. And they have discovered some gems along the way. Harvey Langford and Xavier Lindsay look like absolute guns. Now, the D's did give up their first round pick this year and an assortment of other picks to Essendon to get in Lindsay, but it looks okay for now. Kay Chandler is playing in the mould of Dylan Moore and doing a great job getting high up the ground, as all the best modern day high half forwards do. They are the small shining lights in a dour opening to the season. It looks like a club shift that is going to take a while. With this shift will be big decisions. Petrarca, maybe Oliver, will get moved on. Both will net huge draft capital, and alongside a potential 2 first-round picks if Pickett decides to head to Fremantle, would kickstart a transition. The club can allow the current young crop to take up senior roles on field, and then allow recruitment to use high picks and get in players who suit the modern game. You would think if Melbourne is still bottom 4 around the bye period, this internally would be discussed. It's been a great run for Melbourne in the past few seasons, but in an effort to relaunch, big change might be needed.